So we are in a really bad situation right now, and this is probably just the beginning. So in the last 24 hours, Luna fell 96%, Bitcoin is down 8%, hitting an all-time low of 27,000 as of recording. But we all know that crypto is a volatile asset class. They have made millionaires and made many lose their life savings overnight. And most recently, the Luna Crash has somewhat made many lose their life savings, and here's why. So on one side, we have the LFG, or the Luna Foundation Guard. So the Luna Foundation Guard is a non-profit organization that is responsible for the promotion, the innovation, and the sustainability of Terra, which is the native token for the ecosystem, and UST, which is the blockchain's algorithmic stablecoin. And there are many ways to make a stablecoin stable, and using an algorithm is one of them. So for UST to stay stable, it will require the use of the Luna tokens. Both these tokens work in tandem, and depending on what the situation is, users can either burn Luna to mint UST, or to burn UST and mint Luna. And all this is done by a computer. So the 6th of May was what started the whole downtrend for Luna. So way before that, Luna and UST were considered the holy grail of stablecoins because it constantly remained at peg, as they should, and they have a protocol called Anchor Protocol that provided a 20% APY on your UST deposits. So just to put this into perspective, having $10,000 in your Anchor account will churn roughly $2,000 in interest every single year. And this was something that no one in the crypto space could provide on a stablecoin. So Anchor Protocol was released in April 2021, and in a short span of a year, they managed to get a TLV, or total value locked, at $14.5 billion. But throughout the whole year, Anchor Protocol did have some issues where they had to replenish the treasury a couple of times because there were not enough loans to cover the deposits. So back to the series of events that happened on the 6th of May, when the Feds announced the increase of interest rates by 0.5% or 0.5%. And this was the biggest interest rate hike in the last 2 decades. And if you're wondering why they are increasing the interest rate, it's because of the word
inflation.
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 So when interest rates are increased, this leads to a waterfall of things that will happen. This includes the cost of borrowing money becoming more expensive, which means that consumers and businesses might not be as willing to spend money, which can hopefully reduce the pressure on prices. But because of this rate hike, many banks around the world are expected to follow the lead of the US in increasing their interest rates. And with inflation being a major player in this, it has led to some crazy movements in the crypto space as well. So back to the Luna story. Since UST and Luna are like Siamese twins and they work together as part of an algorithm, and some huge whales sold an approximate $285 million of UST on Curve, Binance, Anchor Protocol, and many more.
A whale?
A whale!
And while all that is happening, they started opening short positions on Luna because Luna and UST works in tandem, keeping the UST pegged. And because of this huge sell-off in UST, it destabilized the UST peg, and the UST lost the ratio of 1-to-1 peg to the US dollar. And as the day unfolds, UST began to slip really badly, and it was unable to hold its peg at one point. And at one point, it was trading 1 UST to almost 0.3 US dollar, which means that a stablecoin has lost its peg so badly that you can actually lose money by holding on to UST, like how you would lose money to inflation if you do not invest your money. And this is why we have to talk about today's sponsor, HabitTrade. We all know that cryptocurrencies do have ups and downs, and this is a pretty scary roller coaster ride. And sometimes when we have those gains, we want to safeguard it and ensure that it grows and does not stay stagnant. So this is where the sponsor for today's video, HabitTrade, comes in. HabitTrade is the first crypto-friendly global stock investment platform that allows you to trade stocks available on the Nasdaq, New York Stock Exchange, and Hong Kong Exchange. So this means that you're able to purchase your favorite stocks like Tesla, P&G, Apple, and much more on HabitTrade. But one of the unique features of HabitTrade is the ability to transfer stable coins like USDT directly into HabitTrade platform and start purchasing these stocks with a few taps of the button. So having our profits placed into a blue chip stock allows us to diversify our portfolio, reducing the risk that we are already taking on with our money. The interface on HabitTrade is simple and easy, which is something I really appreciate because why complicate stuff? Being simple and easy also means that people or beginners who are looking to start investing can use their crypto gains to diversify into stocks that hold fewer risks. And one feature that I really like about HabitTrade is the news tab. So the news tab gives me an up-to-date news and also shows me the price change of stocks that are mentioned in the news, which is a great way to get bite-sized information on the go. There is also a trending page that shows you the latest trending stocks in the market that you can look into. And by signing up with the link in the description down below, you get a free stock worth $5 when you make your first purchase of $300 in stocks. And if you purchase more than $1,000 of stocks, you'll get a free stock worth up to $20. On top of that, you'll get customized market intelligence to help you make informed trading decisions. But most importantly, always do your own research before investing any money into any investment instrument. So thank you Happy Trade for sponsoring today's video. So as UST began to unpack more and more, the price of Luna started falling as well. So Luna, which was roughly $70 when this whole thing unfolded, is currently sitting at 10 cents as of recording, and this doesn't really look too good for what's to come next. And on the 10th of May, Do Kwon and the Luna Foundation Guard tried to stop the free fall of the token prices by loaning $750 million to an OTC counter and liquidating some Bitcoin to save the token. But it just seems that Luna is falling to the death spiral with nothing stopping it or breaking its fall. And in the next couple of days, we'll start to see if the shorting and the selling will stop, which can probably help the project recover as what Do Kwon promised on Twitter. And right now on the subreddit forums, there are people attempting suicide because they have lost their life savings, and some are doing headhunting for Do Kwon. So please speak to someone if you guys have to. There is always ways to earn the money back that is lost, but losing a life is far too precious. But on the stock side of things are not looking that great either. The S&P 500 is down 17% year to date, Nasdaq is down almost 30%, and the Dow Jones is down 13%. And in the Singapore market, the STI ETF or the Straits Times Index is almost at the same price where it started in the beginning of the year. And many would say that this is priced in because there are more rate hikes happening or coming this year, but what we don't know is how much more higher will these rate hikes be. So just a fun fact, I realized that my usual soya bean drink in the market has gone up by 10% to $1.10 when it used to cost $1. But nonetheless, there is always a silver lining in this because with every situation, there is always a way out. So for viewers watching from Singapore, we do have a bond that you're able to purchase, which can more or less protect our money from some inflation amidst all this chaos. So that is called the Singapore Savings Bond. And basically, a bond is a fixed income instrument that represents a loan made by an investor to a borrower. So if you think about it, it's like an IOU between the lender and the borrower that includes the term of the loan, the coupon or the interest rate, the principal that is loaned out, and the expiry date if there is any. So the Singapore Savings Bond is fully backed by the Singapore government, and we are guaranteed our capital back in full without any losses. The Singapore Savings Bond allows you to hold a bond up to a 10-year maturity, and the interest rate increases as the years go by. As with other investment instruments, there are lock-up time frames and some hoops to jump into, but the Singapore Savings Bond allows you to exit at any month without any penalties. So imagine if you're a student just started out working, the SSB can pay you as high as 2.5% interest, which is much higher than what the normal banks can offer you. And at the same time, you only require a low investment of $500 to get started. So something to note about Singapore Savings Bond is that every month a new bond will be released and the interest rates will change. And since we know that the Feds are increasing the interest rates, this means that we are able to take advantage of it by loaning out money to the Singapore government and in return, getting some interest. So I do hope that any one of you that is holding Luna, do find someone to speak to if you require. Reach out to your close friends and family. If you need someone to chat with, my Discord link is in the description down below. And I hope to see you guys in the next video.